And we're back. Sorry about that. Took a lot longer than I thought. And I also had to start installing a thing for clipping together videos. Because I have no way of doing that. Um, but yeah, so that's the gist of that. So one thing that we're gonna do, just real quick, is we're going to edit this, and we're going to use a new another thing that is involved in the framework that just hasn't been used. So we're going to do if IMGUI button, and this is going to be like the only code that we're going to write today. LERP. That's all, folks. Because I'm funny. And then we're going to do IMVec2 and 100.f, 150.f, and 30.f. And then if, oh yeah, there's one more. And now in here, we're going to do util lerp. I'm going to give it a t value, which is we're going to go in here. So the big thing that we're going to do was what we're trying to do is we're trying to create the that's all, folks effect. The close, how it closes down. So we're going to do here is bool enabled. Int so these are the two values that we're going to lerp between. So I'm going to close these down now. Don't need them anymore. This is the last thing for the tutorial. It's not really something rather than, you know. So we're gonna go in here if lerp enabled lerp or sorry util lerp and it's gonna be float, and then so it's val1, val2, and we're going to create a variable, you know, in here, float tval. And oh yeah, these should be floats. That was my mistake. It's right here. So mtval. So each frame we're going to do mtval plus equal to time timer delta time. This will make it so it smoothly interpolates, and then store this. m lerp val equals. And then, so once we hit this button that we've made here, I'm going to do m lerp enabled true. And then we're going to create an if statement. Oh, sorry, not up at the top, because then we won't have all our variables. So we're going to create an if statement up here. If tval is greater than or equal to 1.f, we're going to disable lerp. We're going to reset the tval to 0.f. And then another thing that we want to do down here is m val1 equals 0.f, m equals 1.f. So we're going from 0 to 1. Okay, let's run. We should visualize what we're trying to make. That's very important. I don't always remember all these numbers, obviously. I'm not perfect. I believe it should be 1 though, but I could be wrong. You know, there's always that possibility, and you always have to account for it. So enable first window, vignette, properties. So inner radius should be 0. Outer radius should go from 1 to 0. Yeah. So it's the other way around. We want it to be 1 to 0 with vig dot set inner radius. So what are we going to call this? We're going to call this transition out. And then if button transition in. Where did I? Oh, didn't even see that. So what we want to do here is we want vig.set inner radius 0.f lerp enabled equals true, val1 equals 0.f, val2 equals 1.f, and then we do if lerp enabled. So this is the finish, but as we lerp, we want to do this above these. lerp enabled, and we want to vig.set inner radius and lerp val. If I go up here, enable the first window, remove sepia, properties. Oh, I'm setting the wrong one. Set outer radius. Sorry about that. So one thing that you want to watch out for is sometimes your t-val can actually reach further than where it's supposed to. So what you do is you just make sure to LERP val equals m val 2. Because val 2 is your target value, and that's the value that this is supposed to get you to. So if it's past 1, just make sure to set your LERP val to that. And that should prevent that little effect that we saw there. Because if the number becomes negative, it screws up all the math. So properties, transition out, transition in, transition out, transition in, out. And that's how you create a simple transition. During this, you could theoretically in your code, once, oh yeah, and also the way that this works is actually such that you can stop it in the middle of it, which is pretty nice. But yeah, you could have it so during this, while this is going on, you could be changing all the data in the background in a loop, so that doesn't just pop in. You could just have it so like reach, this and then transition back in. Transition out. Transition out. Yeah. That's one example of like cool things. And obviously if you click the one, oh, and doing it again won't actually do anything. Won't interrupt it. But yeah. And LERP can be used for all sorts of things. LERP is really cool. So you can create this. If you will give me one moment, I can actually show another example of LERP. Hotline Miami. So if anyone's ever played Hotline Miami, this is an older version of the engine. I'm planning on porting all this code to a new version of the engine, obviously. Obviously, because this is, I started making this a while back. But I was making a clone of Hotline Miami. And what I'm doing here is I'm creating a rainbow background. And all it does is LERP between two different clear colors. So when I run it, thank God it doesn't have to build. It's gotta load everything in though. There we go. And I also have it so it's rotating towards the character. But yeah, if you look at the background, the background world is actually changing colors. You could also make it so that when you're below a certain health, that the vignette pulses back and forth using this same method. So if I were to if you were to make this a float, So if we so we know, okay. This is the last thing, obviously. I'm just going to show one other possible use. Oh, but if anyone was wondering, the way you actually get aiming is, so this is a whole bunch of other code. And I actually have it so that it gets the data. This is an older version, as it uses an entity identifier, which is not a thing that we have anymore. And what it does is, if it has a physics body, it will rotate the physics body. If it doesn't, it'll just rotate the transform. And all this does is, I've actually written a thing in utilities that allows you to convert. It allows you to convert coordinates from your mouse into the world. And I actually already use it? I'm not actually sure. I don't think it uses it. Oh no, wait, I've already converted it in this. It's already being converted. It's stored in here. It's updated every frame using mouse motion and just stored. Converts it to a GL point. That's it. But what we can do here is, if we really want, like, so effect manager, get effect, get, no, obviously I want to make sure this code is good. You always want your code to be like future-proofed. So as long as there is a vignette connected, it's going to do this. If I ever remove the vignette, it's not going to crash now. So we want to vignette effect pointer vig equals, you need the brackets, effect pointer, it's very important. So vig dot set inner radius, and one is bigger, so you know we'll have two of these. So m. So I'm gonna really quickly static float. And this is a really quick way to just easily create these sorts of things. But 0.f, vig1, 0.f, static float vig2 equals, let's say 0.5f, static float LERP val equals 0.f. And then we just set the inner radius equal to util LERP float vig1 vig2 LERP val. And then, you know, so this forces it to take that long. Right now it only takes a full second, so we can speed it up to make it faster. So times 2.f. Or if LERP val is greater than or equal to 1.f, vec for temp, sorry, float temp equals vig2, vig2 equals vig1, vig1 equals temp, and then val equals 0.f, and then set this up to do lerp val. Basically every 0.5 seconds it'll go between. Just takes a while to load this one. But if we actually take this code is actually completely valid with our other framework. If you look at this. So yeah. We actually go in here, copy this, you know, if we obviously we have these will still work. So if we, have this, can actually make it so we can make it so it uses val1, val2, and val2, val1, val2, and then val1. And then we can just go down here, IMGUI tree node, special effects, and then IMGUI tree pop. And then, you gotta make sure to have that. You can actually put it up here, remove it from here if you want. And then IMGUI button, if IMGUI button enable pulsing, and then IMVec2 30.f. I'm gonna put 150, same as the other buttons. Oh, I forgot the third one. And then in here, you can make a here we'll just, you can keep this if you would like and make new variables. I have no reason to keep it. But that was just an example. And then you can create like a new one called float lerp or lerp speed equals .f. Have it multiplied by lerp speed. You know, now it'll go back and forth automatically by itself. And then in here, you know, you have the enable pulsing, so lerp enabled true. You can actually do if lerp enabled and this is going to be advanced, but you don't ever have to use this, but I'm going to write this. Those of you that would like to know more, you can actually check out. So if lerp isn't enabled, we want to enable pulsing, and then if it is enabled, we want disable pulsing. This is called ternary operator. You can Google about it. So the first value is if this is true, this will be the value. If this is false, this will be the value. And you can actually nest them. You can put another bool here and then do another one if it's false. You can actually nest them. They can be hard to read though. Most people don't use them. This is just faster than using an if statement though, as it does not require me to rewrite any of this code. It is the fastest way of doing that specifically. So this will change the name based on whether or not lerp is enabled. And then we just do lerp enabled, not lerp enabled. This is how you create a toggle. I don't know if I've ever shown that. And then we can do slider float. And then value 1 and 0.f and then if. Actually, it doesn't even need to be if. So because of the way that we did this, because this is just a regular value, we can just do an and here. You don't actually need the if, unless you want it specifically to do something. But as it stands right there, it already does everything that you need it to do. Slider float, value 2, and mval1, and then this one has a minimum of mval1 and a maximum of 1.f. So this one can never be, mval2. This one can never be smaller than mval1, which makes sense. And then IMGUI slider float, and then pulse speed, and then lerp speed, and then this can never be, you do not want this to be 0. And then, you know, you can make it like 10.f as a max. And then these will be in their own tree. And this will enable and disable pulsing and stuff like that. Second, we want to reset the t-val every time. Well, no, technically we really don't. Alright, so enable first window, vignette effect, so special effects, enable pulsing. There's a slight flash. You'll notice that they're swapping values. So it makes life a little harder. Yeah, that is not. So you want to set this up before you enable pulsing. Oh, and then you can go into properties, set the inner radius in. Sorry, it's outer radius. Sorry, messed up again. It's always outer radius. But yeah, so this can create like a cool effect while you're like, I don't know, you're dying. You can turn on like sepia, increase like the intensity based on that fact that you're dying. And then you can go in here. Another issue is the inner radius is too big. It doesn't look as good. But yeah, see this? Now, as I move around, but yeah, these are all pretty easy to write. Pretty easy to integrate with this. And you can just set them up. Beach ball. It'll still render everything. Should never be fully 0. But yeah, Link's dying here. So as you can see, the value is going back and forth, back and forth. I can try and force it over here. Won't work. Remove effect. Now if you remove the effect, you can imagine what happens. So when you do something like that, if you actually want to keep this, all you got to do is in the disable button, there you go. So special effects, enable pulsing. die in here. If you remove it now, it'll apply all the same. Oh, sorry. Now you can, I just realized I'm not recording on the other screen. You can mess. Sorry. But yeah, and then we're going to remove the effect. Doesn't do anything. Bring it back. And we want to reduce the inner radius down. You can do that. It's all up to you. However, if any inner radius is bigger than the value of the outer radius, it makes it inverse. See? It inverts the effect. That's how that kind of stuff works. It's how Vignette works. That's how the effect of Vignette works. But yeah. So, and then disable, remove, remove, and now it's normal. And you know, just for fun. But yeah. That is everything for today. This video is going to take a while to render and upload, but I will get it out as soon as possible. Obviously, if you're hearing this, it's already out. But yeah, hopefully that explains why it took so long. But yeah, have a great day, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you all on Wednesday, and I hope I see you all there. Have a great day.